Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tallington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. And this is Tristan. He's a corgi. And this is Conversations with a Corgi about episode 97 or 8. We're getting up there. Anyway, I've lost my microphone, so I hope you can hear me today. I'm trying to sit close, and there's noise in the street just to make it better. I would like to talk today about acts of kindness in the dog world. And I have talked before about my idea to do random acts of kindness and help people whose dogs are pulling on leashes, or who are being dragged, or who have a collar that's not appropriate, or just people who are unaware of their dog at the other end of the leash. And last time when I was here in lovely Provincetown, Massachusetts, where again it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day, I had a great opportunity to put this into practice. I was down at Paws and Whiskers, as you know, my favorite place to buy dog things here in town, and I was buying some stuff for my sister, of course, Cavalier things, and lo and behold, there was a little white dog who came into the store looking for a harness, and the harness she had on was a pretty terrible one, and the one they were going to buy was even worse, and apparently she had a long history of pulling. So the owners, I said, do you mind if I talk to you about your harness for a minute? And I told them who I was, and talked to them about my corgi, gave them my card, and they were happy to be helped, which is not always the case. A lot of people don't really want to do something different than what they're doing, and how you approach them can be really tricky. And Robin, Linda Tellington's sister, talks about the acronym ACE, which is acknowledge what they're doing, and what's the next word? I can't ever remember what the C is. I don't know. Like acknowledge it, educate them, and help them understand that what they're doing needs to be different by education, but also acknowledging their effort for what they're doing. And when I remember the rest of it, I'll tell you another time. Anyway, so these people were really great. There were a couple of people with the dog, and between the two of them, they took turns trying to interact and understand what they needed to do. So I showed them how to put their hand under the dog's chest to show them how the harness was pulling. And they had one of the harnesses, if you saw my episode on harnesses many Conversations with a Corgi ago, there was a harness I ran down to the store and picked up that was particularly awful. And that was the one they were thinking of buying. It had a lot of skinny straps with a tight thing in the front, and when you pulled anywhere on that harness, the dog was literally going so it was pretty easy to show them what the problem with the harness was, and thank heaven I was able to find a harness in that store that actually worked really well for that dog. It wasn't my ideal choice of a harness, but for this dog it worked well, and it came in 100 cute colors, and the people were really happy to have this dog, Abby, dressed in something adorable, because she's adorable. And so we were able to find a really good step-in harness made out of fabric that had cute little pink lobsters on it, and amazingly they were able to fit it on the dog immediately. It had been tried on some other dog and adjusted, and it fit this dog nearly perfectly. So it was almost like a miracle of coincidence. And later when I saw them in town that day, they said, I can't believe this, my dog hasn't pulled all day. And she was an inveterate puller and really nervous around the traffic and people in town. And so to have her on the leash without pulling was quite a miracle. And it wasn't even a special harness, it was just a step-in harness that was just a little bit made a little bit differently, so that it prevented her from leaning into it. And she was so happy, and they loved seeing her in her cute little pink lobster harness. So I have a picture of that, which I will post on this page. It's on my other page, the Sally Morgan page right now, if you want to look at her. She's an adorable dog, and she's adorable in her pink harness. So I have been researching acts of kindness, and lots of towns and cities are talking about encouraging their citizens to do like one act of kindness a week or a month, or to post something on their Facebook page to try to collect a lot of acts of kindness. And I know it's so hard in the dog world to help somebody find better food for their dog, or a better fitting harness, or even just to bring him out of the sunshine, or give him, you know, some better quality treats or anything. But so many people listening to this and listening to my sister's recordings and Facebook Lives are well aware of things that we can do differently in the dog world. And I know it takes a tremendous act of courage to do an act of kindness, but I really would love to encourage everyone here to try to do something nice for even their own dog, but an act of kindness for another dog would be wonderful. Making a donation to a shelter, if you have any expertise in any area, going to the shelter and showing them some things that they can do, like with Tellington T-Touch, or something about training, or something you can help them to do with their food, or housing for the dogs. A lot of places just don't have the knowledge and the education to be able to make improvements. So think about things that you might do that would be an act of kindness for the dogs in your world, and try to step out of your comfort zone at some point and try to help people with their dogs, because dogs are amazing, amazing animals. I've also learned that dogs are among the most altruistic species on the planet, and we're doing a whole Facebook Live on that on Sunday. But dogs are amazing gifts to us, and it really behooves us to go out of our way to help make sure that they're comfortable and happy in their environment, and to give them the opportunity to have a healthier and happier life. So look for the picture of Abigail Adams from Quincy, Mass. in her new lobster harness, and look at how your harness is fitting your dog. Tristan's wearing his harness this morning, so you can see, just slip your hand under here so that you can feel what's happening when you pull on the harness, and whether it's strangling your dog or hitting his trachea, or whether it's down on his chest where it should be, whether it's getting too tight up under his shoulders. And you can just look on Tristan here, you can see he has full movement of his shoulder in this harness. But he has several harnesses that fit him. He's lucky that there are several types that fit him. The T-Touch harness, the Freedom harness, and his old Step-In harness actually all fit him pretty well. So again, it's not about one particular brand. It's how the harness fits your dog, how your dog goes in the harness, and how you use the harness. And remember, 2 points of attachment can sometimes make a harness that's less than ideal a little bit better. And in fact, the people with Abby had a carabiner in their bag, and I showed them how to use 2 points of attachment with their matching lobster leash, and that, I think, was a really big help to Abby, because finally she was in balance. She was a little short dog, and her people are pretty tall, and when they were pulling on the harness, she was having her front legs come up off the ground, which was leaving her in an unbalanced physical state, which leads to an unbalanced emotional state. So we all know where that goes. We want our dogs to be physically balanced so they can be emotionally balanced. So the 2 points of attachment is another important thing to remember when you're working with your harnesses. And really, any leash can have 2 points of attachment, and nearly every harness has some kind of a hook here that might be metal, like Tristan's is, or you can sometimes hook it in some of the webbing. So remember that as well, and that might be something that you can do for your act of kindness. Just help a friend see how they can put 2 points of attachment on their dog, and hold the leash a little differently, and maybe help them stop pulling. So think about what you might do to make the lives of dogs you know better in the coming weeks and days, and let us know what you do if you are able to be brave enough to help anyone with their dog. We'd love to hear about it. And I hope I find my mic. Apparently it's not over at the garden where we recorded the other day, and they've mowed, so if it was there, it's been chopped up. But we will locate it, or we'll get a new one. All right, thanks so much for joining us. This is Sally Morgan and Tristan Corgi from beautiful Provincetown, Massachusetts, where we have been talking about random acts of kindness in the dog world, and how I helped one dog, Abby, find a harness that fit her better so that she could stop pulling and be more comfortable with her people. And we will see you in a couple days. This is Tristan and Sally. Have a great day.